Hi everyone, my name is Jane Mays and I'm a teacher at Fintry Primary School in Dundee. I'm going to talk to you about my school's journey to becoming a digital school and achieving the Digital Schools Award. Our school is in a deprived area in a city which is world renowned for its place within the games design industry, as well as other technologies. As a school, we felt it was a duty of ours to provide our children with the necessary skills for a bright future. Our journey to the award was quite short, but it was the start of something brilliant. Prior to August 2017 was where our journey to our Digital Schools Award really began. I acquired the role of Staff Digital Leader completely accidentally in 2016 when I was asked if I would attend a meeting that my deputy couldn't make due to other commitments. In the session 2016 to 17, I began working tirelessly to promote digital learning to my colleagues and for them to embrace the potential learning opportunities within their allocated ICT slot, rather than using it to carry out lots of internet research, play online games, or create umpteen PowerPoints or TXT files. My efforts proved to be futile, although if I'm honest I can't fault my colleagues. Our resources were very limited. The ICT suite was neither engaging nor motivating, as you can see from the photos. We had 16 desktop computers around cluster desks, which were surrounded by these large white metal bookcases. Without a stimulating environment and resources, how could we provide worthwhile learning experiences? It was clear to see that we were still in the dial-up broadband ages, lagging behind the fibre optic equivalents. We recognised the importance of digital technologies within our setting, the impact that these could have on our children in not only their attainment, but in their behaviour too. This quote from the Digital Learning and Teaching Strategy in 2016 sums up our view at Fintry Primary perfectly. Our next step was to fully embark on our journey. Using PEF funding, we ordered devices, including mini iPads and ProBooks, and used the evaluation from the Digital Skills Award to identify areas of strength and areas for development. We also carried out an audit of digital skills with all staff that is repeated annually, allowing us to continually provide tailored support to staff. Both of these documents combined informed our next steps. The months between August and November saw the beginning of training for staff, with the digital learning focus on areas that had been highlighted in both the Audit and Digital Schools Award evaluations. We had whole school training on resources we already had in school during staff meetings, made use of external trainers, and I ran drop-in sessions tailored to staff needs, as well as sharing knowledge from training I had attended. Barefoot Computing hosted a training event with staff to share their resources and a vast range of unplugged activities. Through gaining an understanding of unplugged activities, teachers were able to develop key skills within their classroom without devices. If I'm honest with you, this sparked confusion among some of our staff, as they felt digital learning needed some sort of technology, but once the concept was explained, they soon realised they were enabling the children to develop these skills through their daily routines. Digital leaders were recruited in December 2017 to help drive digital learning forwards within the school and through supporting staff and pupils in using our new digital technology. The recruitment process of our digital leaders included an application form, and I then held an interview with shortlisted applicants to tease out exactly why they wanted to be a digital leader. We recruited 12 Primary 6 pupils who continued this role into Primary 7, and as their confidence in helping both staff and pupils grew, they started asking to do more within the school. These original digital leaders were an integral part of our transformation. They hosted assemblies and whole school events, delivered unplugged lessons to classes. They were responsible for managing our devices, showing around visitors in relation to digital learning in the school, and helping the running of digital learning weeks. Being a digital leader has enabled these individuals' confidence to grow. I've watched the quietest of children now happy to speak out to visitors and at assembly, sharing their knowledge with others, both adults and children, and without their enthusiasm, I don't think our digital transformation would be as successful as it's been. We also continued to run a code club for our Primary 6 and 7 pupils 2 lunchtimes a week. We submitted our evaluation evidence to the Digital Schools Award team in November 2017, only 2 months after we started our journey. We felt really anxious about doing it so soon, but it was amazing to see what we had achieved in such a short space of time. In March 2018, we had our validation visit, and it was such an enjoyable experience for everyone involved. We had just hosted our first Digital Learning Week a couple of weeks before, and were still elated after that. We had so much to share with our validator about what we had implemented across the school. A couple of weeks later, we received notification that we had been successful in achieving the award. We then attended an award ceremony in May with two of our digital leaders to formally receive the award. We were the second school in Dundee to achieve the award, so that was an extra bonus too. Digital technologies is embedded within our setting across all stages. We've updated hardware and resources to ensure we can continually provide the best possible experiences for our children. Training is still offered to staff, and recently we have had a large focus on Seesaw and Microsoft Teams. We have completely revamped the ICT suite to allow for flexible seating within a more inviting setting, which you can see in the middle picture on the slide there. Digital leaders have become a well sought after role in our school, and most recently we have rebranded them as STEM leaders, and with younger children in primary 4 and 5 becoming digital dynamos in their classes to support. Technologies has been delivered as RCCT by myself for the past 3 years, first with primary 4 to 7 and then rolled out across the whole school. Digital Learning Week in Fintry Primary School has become a very exciting time in the past 3 years since it started running. It was an idea that I came up with in 2017, and it was about inviting local businesses into the school who had a digital background to speak to our children about how they use technology in their jobs, and I invited lots of different businesses in. Originally we thought we would have a digital learning day, but I was super excited when we had a response from 9 companies who would love to come in and speak to our children. The digital learning day turned into a week. It started off with a school assembly on the Monday morning to kick-start it. Visitors popped in throughout the week to upper classes, and digital leaders planned and led workshops for our infant classes. There was a definite buzz about the school, and we ended the week with an assembly to show off all the photos and videos from the week. As it was such a success, it was swiftly written into the diary for the next session, and we gathered feedback from children and staff, and then I started planning. Digital Learning Week 2019 was bigger than ever. We had 19 visitors crammed into 4 days, alongside digital leaders running workshops for 6 classes. Our visitors were not just local. One was an ethical hacker who worked in Germany, and others travelled from Glasgow and Edinburgh. I don't think the digital leaders or myself knew where we were or what day it was that week. Through the visitors that we have invited in for Digital Learning Week, the pupils were able to link experiences and outcomes to skills within the different sectors. For example, CDT through building information modelling, digital literacy through engaging with Howie, a social media influencer who also happens to be a parent of one of our pupils, and computer science through working with various games companies. In 2020 we had even more visitors across 5 days, some of which were previous visitors who couldn't wait to come back alongside some new partners too, from other STEM fields. We've now rebranded the week as a STEM week to encompass more fields. Digital Learning Week is a fantastic chance for schools to create links with companies local to them and tailor it to the interests of the children. We've hosted a Fintry Games Jam where we've invited a few schools from across the city to compete in a mini games jam, taking inspiration from a citywide one and inviting Ninja Kiwi employees, Lorna from Code Club Scotland and a computing lecturer from Dundee University to be our judges. We also hosted a Tiny Teach Me in March last year with colleagues from Perth and Kinross and Angus running events simultaneously, where the children shared with their peers from visiting schools their favourite digital tools and how they are using technology in their settings. This was a truly inspiring event, and it's hoped that we will be able to host this again. In our inspection in 2020, HMIE mentioned the embedding of digital technologies enhancing learning and teaching, that our children can articulate the skills they are developing as well as using sophisticated technologies language. Digital leaders are given a real responsibility for supporting their peers and working with staff to improve the use of digital approaches in the school. This year I am delivering STEM RCCT to the primary 4s to 7 as this was a clear next step for us as a setting, and through both lockdowns the whole school has been engaging in STEM challenges. We are also giving our STEM leaders the chance to work towards their Young STEM Leader Award, which is a programme that is run by CERC. Overall, the Digital Schools Award, the process for applying for the award and achieving it, has acted as a catalyst for the transformation of the school and how we deliver learning experiences to our pupils, but it was not without its challenges and issues. These included the creation of documents, implementing and training pupil digital leaders. Part of the award required the development and use of a digital technology policy and rationale. For these we used the Dundee City Council policy and Scottish Government policies to inform and create our own. Progressive plans were created to reflect what digital learning and technologies would look like at our school from both Council and Curriculum for Excellence plans. Another of our main issue and challenges was getting all of the staff on board. Many were afraid of technologies and didn't see the relevance of it within their classroom. When training was offered at staff meetings, it was met with eye rolls and lack of enthusiasm, and drop-ins were very rarely attended by more than one other member of staff. It has been a really long journey, and in the past year the staff have been very grateful for their digital skills due to circumstances. And they saw the very real reason why we had been pushing this since 2017. As we had used Microsoft Teams, Google Classroom and Seesaw, both teachers and pupils were ahead of the game in terms of blended learning. During the pandemic, we've also seen a rise in parental engagement within the school due to digital technologies. So where to now? Moving forward, it is our hope to invite parents and families into the school to host drop-in sessions to upskill them in using technology, with these run by our STEM leaders, digital dynamos, myself and senior leadership team. Host showcases where we can show off to our school community all of the amazing things our children are creating using technology, continue to recruit STEM leaders and digital dynamos, have more clubs run by our STEM leaders and build upon everything we have created and achieved so far. We as a school found the whole process of applying and being validated for the Digital Schools Award enjoyable and would highly recommend it to anyone thinking of going for the award.